Great. So the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is that today we are looking at one concept only, known as currency options. Currency options. Please write like that. Currency options. Yes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, when we hear of currency options, we know, of course, the definition from the videos that Mwalimu gave you. We know that an option generally gives you the right but not an obligation to buy or sell a particular quantity of a derivative, all right, of a specified instrument, all right, at a predetermined rate. So it gives you the right, but not what here an obligation. And I was able to give you very, very good examples. If, for example, today, Mwalimu was a young man, and then he makes a promise to a certain lady, in this case here called who? Jane. So I tell Jane in this case here that, you know what? I shall be marrying you on this particular date. We even in this case here go ahead and make plans, etc., invite our friends in this case here to support us. But on some particular day, I realize that, hey, here, I'm facing imminent danger ahead. And then I decide, hey, this thing will not happen. Will this lady in this case here take me to court? No, I'm not under any obligation. These are what your promises, all right? These are promises. Of course, as much as hurtful as it can be, trust you me, I don't have any what here obligation to make good some of these promises. So whenever we talk of options, the word option means what here? That they are alternatives. It is either I marry you or I don't marry you. And if I don't marry you, so what? Life goes on. Life goes on. All right. So whenever you hear of the word option, an option gives you the right, but not an obligation. And I gave you very good examples of, for example, if you remember very well, the very first example that we did on that particular video, the first video, is this particular example where somebody has a hotel or a restaurant, all right? And in this case here, this person is cooking, for example, they are making, in this case here, chips, French fries, all right? So remember, the price that we used to buy these chips at during those very, very old days is pretty similar, pretty much the same. In those old days, I remember very well, those good restaurants in town that used to sell chips were selling chips at 80 shillings a packet. And those are many, many years ago, like Sanford, 80 shillings a packet. Today, how much are they selling their chips? At almost the same price, maybe 100, for a period of what year? 20 years. For a period of 20 years. Of course, the quantity may have been squeezed a lot, but the thing is, the price is almost what year? Constant. But how about the ingredients? How about, in this case here, potatoes? The price of potatoes keeps on fluctuating quite often. Like during this time when it's quite rainy, how much does a sack of potatoes cost today? A sack of potatoes will be costing how much here, somebody? One sack. 3.5, I doubt. When it's raining like this. When it's raining like this, I don't know, but it can't be 3.5. It can't be 3.5. Let me get, yeah, it must be around 5,000, yes. It must be around 5,000. So it keeps on fluctuating. So when it fluctuates and increases, then the hotelier may make a loss. So the question is, how will he protect himself from potential future losses? So this hotelier will go to Kirinyaga. So they'll go to Kirinyaga around here or Muranga, where there are many, many farmers who plant good potatoes, and then they enter into some contract. They tell this person in Muranga, you have 50 acres of land. On your 50 acres of land, I want you to plant potatoes. I want you to plant potatoes. And once in this case here, you harvest them, I will come and procure them from you at how much? So we lock in some price. I'll procure them at 3,000 per bag in 6 months' time. In 6 months' time, I'll be procuring them at 3,000 Kenya shillings per bag. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if this contract that we have entered into is an optional contract, please listen to me. If this contract we have entered into with this farmer in Murang'a is an optional contract, what does it mean? That I have every possibility of bolting out, of running away out of this contract. During harvesting, if I realize that, hey, this deal is not very good, this price is way high, I can easily get out of the contract. I can easily run away without buying any of these potatoes from this farmer. That is the meaning of the word option. All right? It's optional. So remember, the contract here gave me what? It gave me the right, me as a buyer. It gave me the right, but not an obligation to buy a certain quantity of potatoes at a certain price. So they give me the right, but I'm not obligated. There's no obligation on my part. So should I get, in this case here, a great ninja who is willing to sell to me potatoes, similar to what we have with this guy here? This ninja is selling to me the potatoes at what? At 1,000 per bag. Then what do I do? What I will do, ladies and gentlemen, I will very fast, in this case here, go for the cheaper option. I'll tell my contracted farmer that there are some farmers who are willing to sell to me these potatoes at 1,000. So now it is upon the farmer to think of whether they should lower their price to 1,000 and sell to me, or in this case here, they lose out. Now you can see here that the farmer is so much disadvantaged, because you see, for the farmer, should I go there, assuming in this case here there are other buyers who are willing to buy potatoes at 10,000. You see, this farmer cannot run away from the contract. It is me who bought this right. The buyer, this buyer here who bought this right at 3,000, I bought this right, but I don't have an obligation. But the farmer on the other side is obligated. Now, because the farmer is obligated, because this contract is mandatory to the seller, to the farmer there, all right, you will ask for some payment up front. He'll ask for some payment up front. The payment payable up front for this optional contract has a special name. Is there anybody who could be remembering this special name for such payment that is made up front for this kind of contracts? Premium. Thank you so much, Norbert. Premium. We call it the premium. So when we do in today's class, when we look at currency options, when we mention the word premium, remember, premium is the benefit that you pay to this farmer in advance for that right. But there is a possibility that you may run away out of this contract. So in the case of this girlfriend, boyfriend, so should this man run away, we shall overcome. That's not a very, very good example. Let's, in this case here, deal with what we are supposed to be doing here. We shall overcome. All right. So then I want to do straight away an example on this currency. So when we talk of currency options, now, of course, this is about procurement of foreign currencies. Buying and the selling of what here? Foreign currencies. Buying and the selling of foreign currencies. And as usual, I don't keep my students. I'll be able to take the least time possible. And then, of course, leave you guys to do your revision, isn't it? All right. So again, remember that you guys have access to the 12 videos. There are those 12 low-hanging fruits videos. Yeah. The ones where Mwalimu is predicting, with our predictions, ladies and gentlemen. Have you started watching them? Those 12 videos, they are magical. Have you started watching them? It seems you guys have not yet been given access. You don't pay for them. There are students who have called me that, Mwalimu, No. Then they haven't been given. You shall be given access to those 12 videos for free, because of course you are our students. We can't charge you twice. So please ensure that you also create time for them over this weekend. Great. I'll be able to tell Frank to give you access. Great. So then today we are here to do, you have not missed anything. Masaa ni mengi sana wewe. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what I want us to do. This question, once we finish this question, then that will be it. I'll do two questions, one from this book and another one, in this case here, from your past papers. So I want us to do this particular question here. Example 3 is what we are doing. Example 3 is what we are doing. Oh, where has it gone now? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, great. Once you understand this, we shall be very good students. We are told here, ladies and gentlemen, a UK company owes a US supplier $1 million payable in April. I love this. And I hope you guys have been able to take screenshots here. The spot rate has been given, and the UK company is concerned that the dollar might strengthen. Traded options are available at prices shown in the table below. So we have dollars per pound, 31.250 cents per pound. A, show how traded dollars per pound currency options can be used to hedge the risk at 1.475 strike price. We have 3 strike prices. The examiner has chosen one for us, 1.475. Keziah, I'll be able to give you the right file. 1.475, like that. Show what will happen if the spot rate in April is that. So if I'm given this kind of a question, I may not be able even to get like 100% of the marks. But out of 10 marks, trust you me, with now knowing lots of nothing, I will still end up getting a 6 out of 10, 60%. That's a very good student. You are passing. After all, remember, CPA has got nothing like distinction, credit. No. CPA is just a pass. A pass is a pass. So if you get 60%, it's so good. So if I get this kind of a question, what am I supposed to do? Currency option question. I'll get 6 out of 10. If I'm a very pretty good student, I'll get 10 over 10. So then, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I shall do. If I'm given this kind of a question, first of all, I need to make a decision. Decide whether you need put or call options. Put or call options. In your question, this is the first free mark. Make a decision whether you need a put or a call option. Remember, a put option gives you the right to do what? It gives you the right to sell, because you're putting your merchandise, you're putting your currency to sell. Put like this. It gives you the right, but not an obligation to sell. Call gives you the right, but not an obligation to buy. So whenever you hear the word call, you're buying. Whenever you hear the word call, you are buying. Yes, you are buying. You are buying. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember this question. The investor, the businessman is a UK-based man who is expected to pay 1 million US dollars. That's what they've told us. 1 million US dollars. But remember that this person, ladies and gentlemen, has a UK pounds because he's a UK citizen. He has UK pounds. And he's expected to pay somebody in America 1 million US dollars. So he doesn't have US dollars in his pocket. No, in his pocket. So it means that this person will have to do something. It means that the investor, the businessman, will buy dollars. The businessman will buy US dollars. He'll buy US dollars to enable him pay. He'll buy US dollars to enable him pay. I.e., or rather, buy US dollars, or in this case here, US dollar call options. Call options. So please listen, because this person is in need of, I would want to make this very, very interesting. Assuming in this case here, you are in this class, you are a Kenyan, thank you very much, Deng, you are a Kenyan, and you want to buy a vehicle which is worth 1 million US dollars, and you're a Kenyan. So if you're a Kenyan, what does it mean? In your bank account or in your pocket, you have Kenya shillings. But the seller in Japan will not accept Kenya shillings, doesn't even know what Kenya shillings are. He will invoice you in US dollars. So it means that you as a Kenyan, in this case here, you as a Kenyan, you are expected here to have dollars. So you must buy dollars. So two things. It is either you buy these dollars today, or you buy dollar-denominated call options. Call options. All right. So remember, why are we buying these dollars? Call options. Dollar-denominated call options. But now the exact thing that I will do is dependent on the denomination of the contract size. Check the contract size to know exactly what you shall do. Check the contract size. Contract size. So in this question, have they given us the contract size? In this question, have they given us the contract size? You can just take a screenshot. Have they given us the contract size in this question? Have they given us the contract size in this question? Let's see. In this question, I read again, and you can take a screenshot. A UK company owes a US supplier $1 million payable in April. The spot rate has been given there, and the UK company is concerned that the dollar might strengthen. Yeah, please don't share your screen. Don't share your screen, Hassan. I don't know why Hassan is sharing his screen. Yeah, okay, great. I hope they're able to see. All right. So the spot rate is these dollars, and the UK company is concerned that the dollar might strengthen. The traded options are available at prices shown in the table below. And then you can see some figure. Of course, the examiner will not tell you that that is what we call contract size. The examiner will not tell you that that is what they call contract size, but it will be required in this case here to see straight away that that 31,250 pounds is the contract size. So in this case here, check the contract size. The contract size is 31,250. 31,250 what here? Pounds. 31,250 pounds. My board, not very clear. Now, no worries, yeah. Okay. Let me come back. I have to ensure that all of us understand this. The board is not clear. The board is not clear. Let me try to make it clearer. Yeah, I hope that is much better. I hope that is much better. I hope that is much better. Great. Thank you very much. Now, please listen, my good students. This businessman is in the UK and is required to pay 1 million US dollars. In the UK, it doesn't have this currency. He needs to exchange. So this businessman must buy US dollars, or he buys US dollars denominated call options. But whether he's going to buy these call options or not is pegged on the contract size. So in this case here, the contract size, ladies and gentlemen, you can see it is denominated in form of what here? Pounds. So now listen. This guy has realized now the contract size is denominated in pounds. Who can talk to me? What do you think will he do now? Remember, there are two sides of the options. There are two sides of the options. So you see now here, he can't buy call options, dollar denominated call options, because the contract size is denominated in form of what here? Pounds. So what do you think will he do? Cry? Change the size to the dollar. Great. Good suggestions. Good suggestions. Good suggestions. Put option. I like what Keza is telling me. Put option. You will sell put option. Great. Please allow Mwalimu here to demonstrate something. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen. Remember, this person here will be forced to think like this. He has two options. Either to buy dollars, he buys dollars. So as he buys dollars on the counter, what is he giving out in return? He's giving out the pounds. So in this case here, figuratively, you will allow me to talk about what that he'll sell. Pounds. Of course, you don't sell your home currency, but for options, we must reason like this. So he's going to the counter. At the counter, what is he doing? He's buying dollars and he's giving pounds. So giving pounds at the counter is same as what here, selling those pounds. And because we are talking about sell, then it means that sell is put. So in this particular case, because the contract size is denominated in pounds, we are saying that therefore the businessman will buy not dollar, but pound denominated put options, which will allow him in future to sell pounds. May look a bit technical, but trust you me, you will love this. And you don't have a choice. You know, this semester, if they don't give you again a money market question, they'll give you this kind of a question. And these are questions that my students normally shine. You must shine. So if this contract size was dollar denominated, if this figure here was $31 to $50, this guy would have purchased call options right away. But now when we come to the figure, we realize that this figure is pound denominated. So now we have to think the other way. He was to buy call options, but now that call options are not there, because there are no dollars here, then now he has to sell the pound. He has to buy the put options to enable him sell the pound in future. I will repeat this. Is it my network? Yeah, okay. Are you guys having a problem with my network before I answer Aziz? Are you guys having, okay, it's okay. Very good. Now, Aziz, remember, in both ways, you are buying. It's a contract you're buying. Only that for put option, you have bought the right to sell pounds in the future. If I bought a call, It will give me the right to do what? To buy. All right, look at this. So the businessman will buy pound denominated put options. What will these put options give him in the future? The put options will give this guy the right to sell in the future. Once you've been able to understand up to here, you have understood the whole thing. Because now the next thing will be for us to calculate the number of contracts. So come here and calculate the number of contracts. So give us here number of contracts. Give us number of contracts. How do we get number of contracts? So to get number of contracts, you take the amount. You divide this amount by the contract size. You take the amount and then you divide the amount by the contract size. So anytime you hear about NOC, NOC is an amount divided by contract size. Amount divided by contract size. So the amount is $1 million. Remember, these are US dollars divided by 31,250 pounds. Can we divide these animals the way they are? No. The amount has to be exchanged at strike price because we need same currency. All right. So exchange the above amount at what we call strike price. So exchange the amount to pounds at strike price. At strike price. So has the examiner given us the strike price? Yeah, then thank you very much. As this examiner given us the strike price, once I repeat, you'll be able to understand everything. You just hang in on there. Try to pick whatever you can as much as possible. You'll be able to understand everything very, very well. Very, very well. So you can see here, these are the strike prices. Yeah, the strike prices, I mean. 1.475 is what the examiner has told us. Yeah, and then remember, these are dollars per pounds. So 1.475 is the strike price that you're using. 1.475 is the strike price we are using. So then we have here, exchange the amount to pounds at strike price, which is $1.475 per pound. The question is, should I divide or multiply this amount in US dollars? This is in dollars. So when I'm exchanging, should I divide or should I multiply? Divide or multiply, divide or multiply. If these are dollars and these are dollars, there is no way I can multiply. I will divide. So come here and divide. So divide this by 1.475. Please give me this answer in form of a whole number. So take 1 million divided by 1.475 divided by 31,250. Give me number of contracts will always be in form of what here? Whole numbers. Whole numbers. I want the whole thing. I want the whole thing. 1 million divided by this, divided by 31,250. Give me a whole number. How many contracts do we have in this question? How many contracts do we have in this question? How many contracts do we have in this question? I can see questions here. 1.4 is 1. Did I pick it wrongly? Sorry. Did I pick it wrongly? Let's see here. Remember, they've told us here, show how traded dollars per pound currency option can be used to hedge the risk at 1.475. So we have, yes, many strike prices, but we're going to use only one that is given in the question. So you're not using 1.425, we're using 1.475. Thanks for asking that question. I hope you've been able now to see. I hope you've been able to see. All right. So then we have 22 contracts. Now we are doing very well. Great. 22 contracts is what we have here. 22 contracts is what we have. So 22 contracts is what we have. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, these contracts, you are paying some premium. Go ahead and pay some premium. So give us total premium. Give us the total premium. How do we get total premium? It's very, very easy. You take, in this case here, the number of contracts times contract size times the premium provided here, premium given. We're almost there. We're almost finishing. So anytime they want us to get total premium, we shall always take the number of contracts times contract size times premium. So anytime they want us to give them total premium, which is very, very important, that amount that you pay upfront, you always take the number of contracts. How many are they? They are 22. These are 22 times contract size, pounds what here, 31,250 times premium given, times premium given. Now, please, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. Please listen here. I'm 100% sure all of us will understand this. Everybody. Remember, when are we supposed to be paying this amount? It's supposed to be paid in April. And we are saying we are not playing our game in the calls court. We are playing our game in the puts court. So you look at the puts court, we have April puts. Because you can see the amount is payable in April. So under the April puts, you can see we have this premium. You can see trade options are available at prices shown in the following table. Whatever you have inside here, they are normally called premiums. So at the intersection of 1.475 and the April put, you can see this is 1.2, 1.2. But something funny, these are normally cents. They're in cents here. So you can see April puts, 1.475 here. We have a premium per unit of 1.2 cents. And because it's reading cents, then it will be 1.2 over 100. All right. Now, because you have divided this, it becomes dollars per what here now per pound. Remember, initially it was cents per pound. Now it becomes dollars per pound. You'll understand this because I'm going to repeat everything from the beginning. I'm going to repeat everything from the beginning. Why am I dividing with 100? I'm dividing by 100 because this 1.2, they are what here? They are cents. These are cents. These are cents. These are cents. These are cents. You can see here cents per pound. So when I divide them by 100, now they become dollars per pound like that. So please ask questions. I'll be able to know what to touch as I repeat. Okay, Nabila is asking a question there. Why use? Great questions there. I'll be able to respond. I'll be able to respond. I'll be able to respond. So what figure are we getting? Somebody here? What figure are we getting? Somebody here? What figure are we getting here as our premium? So somebody is giving me a premium of 82.50. A premium of 82.50. So let me ask you a question. This 82.50, is it in dollars or pounds? The 82.50, is it in dollars or pounds? Because remember, this pound and this pound will cancel out, isn't it? So it will give me in form of what? In form of dollars. So these are dollars, $82.50. Let me ask you another question. This premium, is it a payable to you as a businessman or a receivable? Is it a payable or a receivable? The premium. The premium. Yeah, remember our example of the chips. Receivable, payable, receivable, receivable. No, it's a payable. It's a payable. You are the one in this case who is expecting a favor, right? So you pay the potato farmer a premium in advance. So then I'm required here to convert this to my local currency. So if it's a payable and I'm required to convert this to my local currency, what is the role of the bank? Role of the bank? What is the role of the bank? Don't worry, I'll be able to repeat everything. Don't worry. And it's only one question I repeat. We go and sleep. We go and sleep. What is the role of the bank whenever it comes to anything to do with payable? So the role of the bank will be to sell. Nothing like law. Bank will sell. And do you remember that premium is normally payable in advance? Premium is normally payable in advance. So in this case here, use spot rate. Use spot rate simply because of advance payment. Simply because of advance what here? Payment. Simply because of advance payment, we shall use spot rate. Now let me ask you a question. As this examiner given us the spot rate, I will repeat, I'm not afraid because everybody will understand everything. As this examiner given us the spot rate, the today's rate. Yes, this examiner has given us the spot rate here, which is 1.4850. Let's write that. Let's write that down. Let's write that down. I'll be able to repeat. I even saw somebody up there asking about number of contracts. How we got the 22. I'll be able to show you. All right. So I can see the spot rate is 1.4850 to 1.4870 to 1.4870. And these are dollars per pound. These are dollars per pound, like that. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. You see this, I can either write it here, the way the examiner has written it, or here. I like writing it here because of the concept of shaking the hand. This businessman is based in the UK. The businessman here is based in the UK. And where is the pound? The pound is on the right. So then this, right. So this number becomes buy. This number becomes who? Sell. Like that. And you've told me that the bank is selling. So the bank will sell. The bank will sell. The bank will sell the $82.50 at 1.4850 because it's the selling rate. Dollars per pound. $82.50. Remember, these are dollars. $82.50. Sorry, these are dollars. So please go ahead and exchange for us. Go ahead and exchange for us. So please go ahead and exchange for us. So when you are exchanging, this will be $82.50 divided by 1.4850. Who can give me this answer in form of pounds? $82.50 divided by 1.4850. Who can give me this answer in form of what here? In form of pounds. What do we have there, ladies and gentlemen? 55, 56 pounds. This is the greatest of them. Once you get this, you are over half of the marks. Actually, most students in an exam will do this question up to here. Most students in an exam, they don't go beyond this step. Please listen. Please listen. Please listen. Please listen. And I have to show you something very important here. I have to show you something very important here. Very important. Very important. Very important. And once you get used to it, it will be a walk in the park. So that is the answer as done by ACCA. So you can see in this case here, we have the put options. April, strike price is given. Number of contracts, you can see what they have done there to get 22. And then they have gotten 55, 56 pounds payable now. Payable now. Payable now. So now, are they ready? We repeat everything from scratch because we can't continue when most of our colleagues are left behind. Even the ones who have understood through repetition, they'll understand even better. Understand even better. Yeah. Or we finish everything. Yeah. They're saying finish everything. Assume we don't know. Of course, that's what I'm assuming. Let me ask you a question. From the explanation that we have done, is there a student who thinks that now If, for example, I was just to get the solution away from them, whatever they have written, and then I ask them to repeat what we have done, is there anybody who is confident enough that they can get that 55, 56 pounds premium? Is there anybody who is now confident enough from what we have done? And maybe if you put this solution away, give me the same question, I'll get 55, 56. Because that will also motivate somebody here to see, hey, this thing is not even that tough. If there are students in this case and we're in the same class, all right, and all of us are studying in one virtual classroom, there is nobody who is beeping through the window. Okay, I can fumble. I love that. I can fumble. I can fumble. Only contract size, at least you've gotten something great. Actually, the moment in this case here you get the contract size, number of contracts, I'm just copying. I love that. Great, great. At least I can get somewhere. Blue paper, machozi. No. Once you understand this thing, it's very, very easy. Very, very easy. So allow me to repeat. And I'm so sure the students also who are not able to see anything, they never watched those two videos. I'm 100% sure of that, but we shall overcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in Kenya here. From Kenya here, I'm required to pay 1 million US dollars. 1 million US dollars. All right. And then I'm told in this case here, we have what we are calling contract size. Contract size is, for example, 20,000 Kenya shillings. Contract size is 20,000 Kenya shillings. Then they give me the strike price. They give me the strike price. Strike price. They tell me the strike price in this case here is 130 Kenya shillings per dollar. 130 Kenya shillings per dollar. Right? And then they want me to do something very, very easy. All right. Number one, we tell them what should we buy required. So this investor, shall the investor buy put or call options? What should we work with? That's number one. And then number two, they want us to calculate the number of what year? Number of contracts. Number of contracts. So remember now, this is a Kenyan who is required to pay $1 million US dollars. The contract size in this entire arrangement has been given as 20,000 Kenya shillings. The strike price is given as 130 Kenya shillings per dollar. Per dollar. So are we going to, first of all, tell me, shall we be dealing with put options or call options? Put options or call options? I'll try to recall the figures. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Okay, great. So remember here, I'll just know the two currencies that I'm using. I'll know the two currencies that I'm using myself as an investor. Yeah. So Maya, please give me chance to teach. Give me a chance to teach. Yeah. So I'm at liberty to use whichever example first, and then we continue like that. So now listen. So here, what do we have? Two currencies. The two currencies are which ones here? So I know that I want to buy dollars because I'm in Kenya, right? And as I buy dollars, what am I doing on the other side? So I'm buying dollars at the counter, and then I'll be able to give them Kenya shillings, which is akin to selling Kenya shillings. So sell Kenya shillings. So then what will happen here, for me to know whether I'm going to buy or sell, I must look at the contract size. I must look at the contract size. So remember, buy will be call, sell will be what here? Put. Sell will be put. So then now, of course, using this, I've been able to come up with my currencies. It's either I buy dollars or I sell Kenya shillings. From there, I go to the second step. So the second step, what do we have here? The 20 contract size is given in the form of what here? Kenya shillings. Now, this is what is defining everything, whether it's a put or a call. So you can see this contract size is denominated in Kenya shillings. So if it's denominated in Kenya shillings, so where is the Kenya shilling? Under sell. Under sell is the put. So we are using put options. Using put options. What if in this case here, this contract size was in terms of dollars? If it was in terms of dollars, then I would have worked with what here? Call. Because of the dollar, I would have worked with call. So first of all, is that correct? Is that correct? Are we able now to understand there? Are we able to understand that concept? Because that is it, really. So here we are going from here, I know, pay $1 million US. I'm in Kenya. I don't have US dollars. So I would want to buy US dollars. As I buy US dollars, I'm giving away Kenya shillings. I'm giving away Kenya shillings. So buying is call, sell is put. From there, we go to step 2, look at the denomination of the contract size. The contract size is denominated in Kenya shilling, and the Kenya shilling is under put. So put options. From there, let's get the number of what year? The number of contracts. Let's get the number of contracts. So how do we get number of contracts? So number of contracts is amount divided by contract size. Divided by contract size. So the amount, ladies and gentlemen, that we have here is $1 million US. Is $1 million US. These are USDs divided by the contract size, which is 20,000. But remember, these 20,000 are in Kenya shillings. So let me ask you a question. Can I divide them the way they are expressly? Can you divide the USD and the Kenya shillings honestly? And you want a fixed figure? No. So the amount must be exchanged at the strike price. To be able to get number of contracts, the amount must be exchanged at contract price. But now remember, there are cases you'll be told that these are $20,000. If these were $20,000, then there will not have been that concept of exchanging, because dollar, inge agree, inge Indiana. But now this one must be, the amount here must be exchanged at the strike price. Let me ask you a question. The strike price is given here as 130 Kenya shillings per dollar. The question is, this 1 million, will I multiply it with 130 or will I divide the 1 million? Because remember, it's the amount that you're changing, not the contract price. So this 130 here, do we multiply it with this or do we divide? I shall multiply because of different currencies. Whenever currencies are different, always multiply. So we have this US dollar and these are Kenya shillings. So they are different. So it shall be 1 million times 130. 1 million times 130, we divide by 20,000, and then you divide. What are we getting, ladies and gentlemen? 1 million times 130 equals. And then whatever you get, you divide by 20,000, and then you divide. What are we getting, ladies and gentlemen? How many contracts do we have? How many contracts do we have here? How many contracts do we have here? Abracadabra. 6,500 contracts. Remember, contracts must always be written in whole numbers. They must always be written in whole numbers. Now, can I challenge you this evening? Can I challenge you, great students, this evening? I want everybody put your solution away and give me the number of contracts in this question. Put your solution away and give me the number of contracts in this question. If you give me the number of contracts in this question, mi nitakubaia peremende. Nitakubaia peremende. Unajua peremende? Nitakubaia peremende. Peremende tamu. Peremende tamu. So go ahead and make very good arguments. Give me the number of contracts in this question. So up to there, ladies and gentlemen, all of us now, we able to appreciate that 22? All of us, are we able to appreciate that 22? Great. 22 now is okay, right? Let's do it together. So remember, the company owes a US supplier $1 million US. It's a UK company. Remember, these people have British pounds in their pocket. They don't have, in this case here, dollars. They have to buy. So for options, you must make that argument. So for options, you must make this argument. You have to start this way for options. You have to start this way. You have to start this way. So for options, we must start this way, ladies and gentlemen. So what are we doing here? So for options, what we have here, we have this gentleman has to buy US dollars to enable him pay, right? Or he sells, in this case here, UK pounds. It's an exchange. He's buying dollars and he's giving them UK pounds in return. So then if he's going to buy US dollars, this will be a call, because buy, you call, sell, in this case here, you do what here? You put. So from there, you ask yourself, what is the contract size in the question? It shall be given. Contract size in the question. You come and look at the contract size in the question. So the contract size in the question, ladies and gentlemen, that we have over here, the contract size in the question that we have over here, the contract size in the question that we have over here, it's normally given up here, is 31,250 pounds. 31,250 pounds, like that. All right. So now this is the determining factor. You look at the contract size currency, it's pounds. So where are pounds? Here. So basically, the company, this investor, the company will buy put, pound denominated puts, like that. Will buy pound denominated puts because of this, which will enable them, which will give them the right, but not an obligation, to sell these pounds in future. So after that, now straight away go ahead and they give us number of contracts. So how do we get number of contracts? It's very easy. So to get number of contracts, you will take the amount. You will take the amount, you divide by what we call the contract size. The amount, ladies and gentlemen, is $1 million US, divided by contract size, which is 31,250 pounds. But now remember that these US dollars must be converted. Converted at what rate? At the strike price. Converted at the strike price applicable. Not all the strike prices, but the one that is applicable. The one that is applicable. So let me share the question again. So if you look at this, you can see the strike prices they are given. The examiner will always give you one strike price to use. Show how traded dollar per pound currency options can be used to hedge the risk at 1.475. So we shall only work with this 1.475, and it's a dollar. Remember, it's dollar to pound. So if it's dollar to pound, what have we said, ladies and gentlemen? If it's dollar to pound, what have we said, ladies and gentlemen? If it's dollar to pound, these are dollars, and the 1.475 is a dollar per pound. So this is dollar. So it means that for me to exchange this at the strike price provided, I have to divide. I have to divide like that. So the dollar and dollar will cancel out, and then the final answer will be, of course, pound now, which will cancel out. So whole number, take your calculator, you take 1 million divided by 1.475. Whatever you get, you say divided by 31,250. Whatever you get, you say divided by 31,250. So is there somebody now who is able to confirm? Yes, thank you very much for asking that question. Always, the contract size is the determinant of which currency, whether it's call or put. Contract size is the one that determines this. So now 22 whole number is agreeable, all of us. I told all of you that all of us will be able to understand this. Very good. Now, from there, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and give us the total premium. Go ahead and give us the total premium. Go ahead and give us the total premium. How do we get the total premium payable in advance? How do we get the total premium payable in advance? Let me see whether there is any ninja who will be able to get this right without looking at any place. Let me see whether there is any ninja who will be able to get this right. Let me see whether there is any ninja who will be able to get this right. Total premium. Let me see whether there is any ninja who will be able to get this right. Isaac Moneki is saying yes. Thank you, Norbert. This Norbert must be a serious ninja. It is CS times NOC times premium Norbert times premium times premium per unit. It's called premium per unit actually. Times premium per unit. Yeah, times premium per unit. Thank you, Francisca. Yeah, number of contracts times contract size times premium. All right, 8250, yes. So remember this total premium, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, you must be able to identify the premium per unit. You must be able to identify the premium per what year per unit. You see here, this gentleman is supposed to be paying this amount in April. Is supposed to be paying this amount in April. First of all, you've agreed. These are not calls you are working with. We are working with puts, and you can see there is a thin line. You can't see it, but we have here March, April, May. And then here, March, April, May. So you can see these are April puts. If you go down with this line, so we have 1.2 at 1.475. Strike price is 1.475. So this is 1.2. And always our premiums per unit are given in terms of cents. They're always given in terms of cents. They're always given in terms of cents. They're always given in terms of cents. Yeah, redo, yes. So in this case here, total premium will be number of contracts. In this case here, times contract size times premium per unit times premium per unit like that. So number of contracts here, they are 22. Number of contracts are 22 times contract size, 31,250 times premium per unit, which is 1.2 cents. So cents per cent divided by 100 always. Percent divided by 100 always. But now remember, this US. So US, this will be dollars per watt year per pound. So the pound and pound will be, this is also in pounds. We'll be canceling to give us the final answer in dollars, which is 88 watt year $50 like that. $88.50. The strike price is not in cents. Good question there. The strike price is not in cents. The strike price, yeah, the strike price, this is another table. I would want to give you this book so that you can look at it later. The strike price, you can see here, dollar, this is supposed, actually this book is very, very good. You can see here, it has an answer. They've given you a table here, right? And then they're asking you, what is the strike price? What do call and put mean here? These calls and puts, what do they mean? Number of months, of course, this will be like an April option, etc. All right. What does this 31,250 pounds? Yeah. So this 31,250, of course, means what here? This will be the contract size. And then in bracket, now we have all these things here. All these things you're seeing there, those are the premiums. They're always in cents like that. They're always in cents. They're always in cents. So I'll send this book to you for your further reference. But even with this example I've done for you, you'll be able to master. You'll be able to master. So then this gives us what at the end of the day? $88.50. But now remember that the premium must be paid in terms of home currency. Premium is always paid in home currency. in home currency. Is always paid in home currency. Is always paid in home currency. In home currency. Always. So remember, this company is UK based. So UK based. So in this case here, the pound. And then remember as well that premium is payable in advance. Premium is payable in advance. I.e., use spot rate. Use spot rate to exchange. And the spot rate has been provided very well. The spot rate has been provided very well. The spot rate has been provided here very well. You can see the spot rate is given up here, 1.4850 to 1.4870. 1.4850 to 1.4870. 1.4850, 1.4850 to 1.4870. 1.4850 to 1.4870. And remember that these are dollars per pound. These are dollars per pound. These are dollars per what here? Per pound. Dollars per pound. So remember, when you see this kind of a spot like that, it will be very important for us to recognize the fact that this is per pound. Our home currency is the pound. So pound is on the right. So this becomes buy, and this becomes what you sell. And then remember, if it's a payable, the bank always does what here? If it's a payable, the bank always does what here, somebody? If it's a payable, the bank does what here? If it's a payable, the bank always sells. Bank sells. At what selling rate? 1.4850, like that. Dollars per pound, like that. Dollars per pound. So I'm going to go ahead and exchange this amount. So when I'm exchanging this amount, it's not lost on me that these are dollars and this figure is in dollar form. If I try multiplying the two, I will end up getting dollar squared. I'll end up getting dollar squared. And dollar, ladies and gentlemen, cannot work. Trump will beat you up if you say that you're giving him an answer which finally will be in dollar squared. When I see dollar and dollar I'm exchanging, I should divide. So the final answer, so the premium payable, so the premium payable basically will be this 8850, you divide by 1.4850, which will end up giving us 5550 what here? 6 home currency. So when we mark, ladies and gentlemen, normally if you look at all the solutions that we have, in terms of these currency options, we normally go up to the premium here. Once the student gets the premium, we provide all the marks. And if you get a question where the examiner is asking you forward contract, money markets, and then we have currency options, we don't even look at this currency option as such. We only compare the first two. Why? Because this is one of those areas that is really hated by students all over. Yeah. So the only thing you will have to do in an exam, should they give you a question on currency option, is basically, ladies and gentlemen, to work straight up to this area. Once you're able to get it right up to this area, then you are a very, very good student. Very few students in Kenya will be able to reach here. Very few students in Kenya will be able to reach there. Ascertaining the premium in terms of the home currency. All right. Now we have got a choice to make because, you know, I've marked these papers for so long. So do you want Mwalimu to continue knowing very well with this question, knowing very well that some things are not that relevant? Or do we stop it here and agree all of us that should they give us a question of this nature, we shall do up to the premium. Leave alone those profits on whatever. Leave them away. Leave them out. They don't carry any mark. These are secret between me and you. All right. So the most important question that I should put forth to you, have we understood how to get this premium payable for options? Have we understood how we get this premium payable for options? That is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Now, so that we can get to finish this, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to mention there swaps. Swaps. So when we talk of currency swaps, and this normally comes in form of theory. Is there somebody who can try defining for us what currency swaps are? What are currency swaps? Somebody try in your own language from the word swapping, exchanging obligations which are denominated in different currencies. From the word swap. Try your best. You can use whichever AI. What is a currency swap? So we have interest rate swaps and we have currency swaps in theory. What is a currency swap? So as I wait for you to give me very refined answers here, when you talk of a currency swap, and if you look at your past papers, you'll be able to see this theory for 2 marks, that a currency swap happens whenever two related companies exchange their obligations that are denominated in different currencies. Two or more companies which are related. They must be like subsidiary parent. Two subsidiaries, they must be related. All right? So related companies exchange their obligations which are denominated in different currencies. They exchange. And I can explain why would these companies want to exchange their different currency denominated obligations. I can explain. Assuming we have, in this case here, two related companies. We have, ladies and gentlemen, RCM based in Kenya. And then we go and open, in this case here, a very good RCM high school. RCM high school based in South Africa. Let me use, in this case here, US. Great dreams. Yes. So RCM Kenya is a different company registered in Kenya. And then we have RCM High School, different company registered in USA, but it happens that these two companies are related in the form of what? Your parent, subsidiary relationship. Now, it will reach a time. RCM Kenya may want dollars. So RCM Kenya may want dollars, and RCM High School in the US may also want what? Your Kenya shillings. So what will happen if RCM wants dollars? They would rather talk to RCM USA, because RCM USA is at the center of dollars. That is where dollars are being used. So it will be able to talk to RCM USA to go to a bank there, and then they borrow dollars on their behalf. So this one here will be able to go and borrow, for example, $1 million US on their behalf here. And perhaps these other guys here will come and say, hey, do you know what? We also want Kenya shillings. So perhaps you want 129 million. Of course, they must be close in terms of exchange. You can't tell me that borrow for me $1 million US, and then on this other side, I'm borrowing for you 200,000 Kenya shillings. It can't work. There must be figures that are quite close. Yeah, there must be figures that are quite close. All right. So you can see in this case here now, I mean, we have borrowed this on behalf of this RCM USA. And RCM USA has been able to borrow this on our behalf. So then what do we do? These are now different currency-based, different currency obligations here. But what do we do now? We shall swap them. We shall exchange them. We shall exchange them. So ladies and gentlemen, whenever you hear of the word currency swaps, don't forget to mention that under currency swaps, we have got two or more companies which are normally related, which will be exchanging obligations. They are obligations which are denominated in the form of what here? In the form of different currencies. In form of different currencies. And why should that be the case? It's because of, if we are in countries where we have advantages of borrowing in this particular currency, if you are RCM Kenya here, we can borrow, we can go to Equity Bank here and borrow Kenya shillings quite easily because we are known locally here. And then now we swap with the RCM USA. You may not be able to pick this very well, but there is something that I would want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, you writing, if we ask you about this concept of currency swaps, that under currency swaps, we have got two or more companies that will be able to interchange. What are they interchanging? They're interchanging their obligations. Which obligations? Obligations that are denominated in different currencies. That will really be it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember this concept of swapping is really big out there. If you have been out there, you must have heard of spousal swap. Yeah, spousal swap, where in this case here, you go to some place and then you swap, you exchange your spouses, all right? Yeah, perhaps with your friends like that, quite demonic, right? And then, of course, when you interchange these, your spouses, at the end of the day, at the end of the contract, every person must return back home, And this is also the same case with these currency swaps. At the end of the contract, those obligations must return back to their status quo. So please never forget this concept of what here? This concept of swaps. So have you guys been able to pick something nice about these swaps? Have you guys been able to pick something nice about these swaps? We shall overcome, but have you understood from this explanation? Have you understood from this explanation? Somehow, right? Somehow good. And then, of course, we may study like that, and then you get a bad examiner now asking you about interest rate swaps. Interest rate swaps. Under interest rate swaps, now these two companies are exchanging loans. Loans in this case here, we have two companies. So we have company A, we have company B. This company has 10,000 loan, which is fixed. And then we have in this case here B having 10,000, for example, loan, which is floating. So whenever we have two companies exchanging their loans, in this case here, they are exchanging their loans which are between what here floating and fixed. When they are exchanging their loans, one company has got a fixed loan, the other company has got what here? A floating loan. Then that automatically will call for what we call an interest rate swap. So whenever you hear of an interest rate swap, one company is exchanging a fixed loan for a floating loan from another company. So one company exchanging a fixed loan for a floating loan, even if you mention it like that. Company A going to exchange a fixed loan for a floating loan, then that will be called what here? That will be called an interest rate swap. What is a floating loan? A floating loan is a loan that does not carry a constant interest rate up to maturity. It keeps on fluctuating, keeps on floating, keeps on fluctuating like that. Keeps on fluctuating like that. Keeps on fluctuating. All right. So I believe that is okay. You guys will be able to remember to write that in your exam. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there now we go straight away to something a little bit different. Currency futures. Currency futures. Now we are finishing this. So under currency futures, under currency futures, you see currency futures are pretty similar to forward contracts. Pretty similar to forward contracts. Although we have differences, a few differences between forward contracts and currency futures. Is there somebody who can give us, ladies and gentlemen, differences? We start like this. Differences between forward contracts, and currency futures. Let's see. Anybody who is able to give us this before we disappear. So we have here forward contracts. Give me these points very fast. And then we have, they are very similar. Very similar. We only have a few differences. Yeah, like Yusuf is telling me that forward contracts are done over the counter. These ones are sold in formal markets. So we have what we call future markets. Very good. So over the counter, if it's a forward contract, I simply walk to Equity Bank. I get, in this case here, an agent of Equity Bank at the bank there. We draw an agreement over the counter. So it is two parties. But when you talk about currency futures, these ones are normally traded at serious derivative markets. Like in Kenya, it would have been NSC, all right? You can't go to a bank for future contracts, no. Yeah, forward contracts in this case here are, forward contracts in this case, ladies and gentlemen, very good. Forward contracts, basically, these allow, or they can accommodate any currency. Futures are a dollar denominated, like dollar. Futures are a dollar denominated. Very good. But futures were discovered in America. Yeah, so up to date, futures are basically dollar denominated. And forward contracts, we have contracts in this case here denominated in Uganda shillings, in Kenya shillings. Yeah, and then now remember, ladies and gentlemen, that these forward contracts are normally of any size. Forward contracts. So we have here forward futures. These are standardized. Yeah, forward contracts in this case here can be customized to fit any amount, or any size. Yeah, you get a forward contract of 1,300,000 and even point something. But when you talk of futures, these are like 1,000 notes. They are normally they are normally standardized. Now, when you talk of forward contracts, the counterparty risk is very high. Counterparty risk here. Counterparty risk counterparty risk is very high. Is very high. Because there are only two people. Should one renege on their promise, then the other party loses. The counterparty risk is very high. But since these are normally tradable, the risk is normally low. The risk is reduced because of insurance involved, government interventions, etc. Low risk. Low risk. Those points are enough. Those points are enough. But I'm so surprised that you guys really were ahead of Mwalimu here. Were ahead of Mwalimu. All right. So tomorrow I will be available, but at around 11:30. 11:30. I don't know if my 11:30 is workable for you. 11:30. Does that sound